Well, hello and welcome to our backyard garden here in the South Carolina upstate. It is March 14th of 2025 and spring has sprung. We have a beautiful day, kind of a hazy sunshine, right around 60 degrees. It's going to be a little warmer, probably upper 60s by the time all is said and done. And we just finished our front yard video. We're going to do a quick backyard video here. And so, as we usually do, we're going to start off here in on the side of the garage. Something I did not notice last week when we did this, I didn't see any buds on these irises, and here they are. And we already have a couple of irises in bloom. These white ones always go first, and then about a month later we get our blue or purple ones. And so this is the first day that I've seen these out. We have a lot more buds to go. And then down in here are going to be the purple ones later on. So that'll be fun to watch those progress. And a few more over here, and then some other spring flowers over in this area, the hyacinths. These are some of the best looking hyacinths that we have in the entire garden. Big purple stalks along with the daffodils. I love seeing all these colors. These are such typical spring colors, the pinks and blues, and some yellow thrown in. It just reeks of summer. And if you really get down on the ground and smell them, they just smell delightful. Very, very potent smell with the hyacinths. Then we've got some tulips starting to come up. Looks like maybe we'll even get some blooms in another week or two over there. Got some lilies here, Asiatic lilies, and then our digitalis. They look like they've spread a bit, so I think we're going to have more than we did last year, which is ideal. You want to see that, of course. And then our hydrangeas here, those will start coming out a little bit later. Butterfly bushes starting to get leaves on them, so we'll start to get some flowers off of those before too long. More lilies down here coming up. Another big butterfly bush here. This is something that's worth looking at once it gets going. This is a knockout rose with bright red flowers on it in about maybe another 6 weeks. And then draped over that is a clematis, which has big white flowers. So the combination of the white and red together just looks fantastic when we get to that point. We have a bunch of irises back in here, a number of azaleas. We have 6 of those, and one viburnum, which is getting closer and closer every week to having some flowers on it. We have buds, so it probably will be maybe another, I'm going to say maybe another couple of weeks. Kind of depends on the weather. If we get really warm weather, it might happen a little bit sooner. But it's predicted actually to be a little bit on the cooler side. We're headed down to the beach this coming week. Unfortunately, it's not going to be all that warm. At least the prediction is that it's going to be about mid-60s. So it's not exactly beach weather, but should be sunny, so that'll be nice. Some more hydrangeas hiding back in here. And then over here, a beautiful gardenia. This one has always kind of struggled a little bit. It's not a real big plant compared to its others. We had to transplant it at one point, and it's never really thrived since that time. But we've got some others that are doing really well. I thought I'm going to come down to the pond here and just show that off. I don't usually come down to the pond except on occasion. It's actually looking fairly clean right now. It's kind of nice. Once the summer gets going, the algae tend to sort of take over a little bit. And you can see the bottom. A lot of times you'll see some fish. Certainly we get a lot of turtles on a sunny day. There's probably at least 50 or 100 turtles that live in this pond. And I planted last year, just about this time, a water lily, and I'm not sure it was in this pot, and I was told to just leave it right there. There are some leaves over here, so I'm going to keep an eye on those and see what they do. I'm not sure if those are the lilies coming up or something else, but time will tell. Still have some of our debris left over from Hurricane Helene, which was now 6 months ago. That log floated in and all this other debris. When we do our spring cleanup, I'm gonna get out here with a blower and just try to get rid of a lot of that stuff, make it look a little nicer. But in the meantime, we have all these daylilies that are coming up, and so the terrace down here near the pond doesn't look so good this time of year, but it will once the flowers start to come out in another month or so. So we're gonna come over here past another azalea. Got some more hyacinths here that are fully in bloom, looking really nice. Strong smell on those, they really smell good. And behind those some irises, and then our big knockout, which is completely recovered from its little beaver episode. And then we've got a gardenia that's fully in bloom. Huge flowers on this one. Looks really really tropical. It's the one thing that we have in our garden that's a very tropical sort of plant. It does really well here. This one has really thrived. It's gotten big over the years. So has this one across the way. In fact, probably a little too big. It needs to be chopped back a bit. But this one has a little more of a kind of a peppermint stick look to the flowers. Very pretty. This is probably the best year we've had for the gardenias since we put them in about, I'd say it's been about 6 years now. And they've finally come full circle in terms of flowering. Typically they flower earlier than this. Late January to mid-February has been pretty typical for these. But because we had such a cold winter, it's been a little bit delayed this year. And again, we've got the kind of the peppermint looking one over here. So 3 of the 4 that we have are doing really, really well, looking great. And the other one is hanging in there. It's not dying, it's just not thriving as much as we might like. And then over here, all this greenery in the background is our mixture of jasmine and clematis and climbing roses, and that has kind of taken over to the point where in a lot of areas you can barely even see this fence. But we do have to thin that out a little bit. It has a way of taking over. Speaking of taking over, this is one single butterfly bush that has done a little too well. That's something else that we're going to have to kind of chop back a little bit this year, just so it doesn't completely dominate everything, along with some of this other stuff that has climbed over the fence. Again, jasmine is kind of invasive. It has a way of taking over the butterfly bushes. Everything has to be kind of maintained a little bit. We come from the north where you don't really run into that so much, but down here there are a number of species that can be really invasive, and if you don't stay on top of them, they will give you a hard time. Some more hyacinths here, kind of an unusually light lavender type here. It's particularly pretty. Nice light pink, dark purple. More of the lavender ones over here. They just smell delightful as I stand here. And then this group of daffodils, some of them are starting to fade out, but a lot of them are still going. By the time we come back from the beach next week, I imagine most of these will be gone. But they're gorgeous while they're here, for sure. And then back here, there's not a lot to see right now. There will be later on when our big summer stuff comes out, like this weeping cherry here, and some of our other summer plants. But the clematis are starting to come out. We weren't sure how these were going to do. They've looked sort of borderline dead for a couple of years, but this year it seems to be pretty positive for those. We had roses in this area that got eaten down to the ground last year. thought it might have been a beaver or maybe a deer. We didn't really know. And they're trying to make a comeback, kind of a marginal comeback, but what are you going to do? I've got a little tea olive here with its little tiny white flowers. Nothing all that impressive. It has kind of a pleasant smell. And then up in here, this is mostly a late spring and midsummer garden. We have some irises, of course, in the background, and then the climbing roses, not climbing roses, tea roses, are just putting out their leaves. It'll be another probably month or two before they get going. A lot of daylilies mixed in. We have a lilac over here. Hopefully we'll get a lot of flowers off of this. This is its third year. Didn't do a lot last year. And actually, now that I'm looking, this one is a little ahead of schedule. This is a lilac as well that we put in. It was supposed to bloom twice a year, and it really has not done that so far, but it's getting some really nice buds on it right now. So I'm hoping before too long, maybe another couple weeks, we'll actually have some lilac flowers open back here. And then our big climbing rose over here. Maybe in another 2 or 3 weeks that we'll start to get some buds for the little tiny pink roses that grow off of that. And then over here, a lot of Asiatic lilies and other things that'll come later in the season. But for now, that's about it in the backyard. I should also mention our cleome, which normally grow in this area. They grow from seed, and I haven't pulled these out from last year. Again, that would be part of our spring cleanup that we haven't done, but this area was just full of cleome last year with their big tufts of pink and lavender flowers. So those are fun when they when the time comes. That's about it. Otherwise, I have a daisy here. I don't know if that'll bloom. It's already getting its leaves. Still have a lot of flowers left over from last year, flower seed pods, but these give nice white daisies later in the year, usually late summer. So lots going on here. We're seeing kind of a rapid transition from week to week as we go from early spring to mid-spring to late spring, and each one of those periods has a different grouping of flowers that come out. So we're just going to try to follow this each week and see what we're doing. It seems like it's still so early in the year, and yet our early spring flowers have already come and gone. The early daffodils, the crocus, things like that are already gone. But a lot more to come. So stay with us every week. We'll show you what's going on in our garden, and I hope in the meantime it's sunny wherever you are. And until next time, happy gardening.